Good morning, everybody. We are starting a new book in the Torah, the book of Exodus. And there's so much in the book of Exodus. I want to just share two things this morning. First of all, the moment when Moses is chosen to be the leader of the Jewish people, that epic moment that transpired at the burning bush. How did it all start? What sparked this moment for Moshe? He's shepherding the sheep of his father-in-law out in presumably somewhere in the desert, and he sees this vision, this bush that's burning, but it's not being consumed. And he turns around to look at it, and he says, I'm going to go check this out because something is going on here. And then the angel appears to him, and Moshe comes a little bit closer, and finally Hashem himself calls out to him and says, Moses, you're the guy. I've chosen you. I've identified you to be the one who's going to lead the Jewish people out of Egypt. But if you think about how it all started, it started with Moshe being curious. He saw something. He saw something unusual, and he was curious about it. And he wanted to understand a little bit more, so he turned a little bit closer to try to understand. Every one of us is on a spiritual journey. We're all growing. Ultimately, we're all trying to reach the level of Moshe, where we have direct communication with God, or at least close to that. But what does it start with? It starts with being curious. It starts with a question. It starts with an initiative on our part to turn closer, to try to understand more, and to have a greater clarity about who we are, about our purpose in this world, about our connection with God. That's how it all starts. And that's an important lesson to take from Moshe. Now I want to focus on one other thing. At the end of the Parsha, at the end of this week's Torah portion, basically God tells Moses to go to the Pharaoh and say, Pharaoh, it's been great. We've been here for a long time. We've been your slaves. But God came to us and we are leaving. It's time for the Jewish people to leave this place. And what does the Pharaoh do? The Pharaoh creates a new law. He says, my slaves, you guys have to continue building the pyramids, continue making bricks. Only from now on, I'm not going to provide you with the material that you need to construct the bricks. You're on your own to find those materials. But your quota, it's not going down one bit. You have to continue building the same number of bricks every single day. What's going on over here? So the Ramchal, Rav Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, in his classic work, The Path of the Just, little plug over here, which we study every Sunday morning at 9:30, you're welcome to join us on Zoom, says that what was going on is that the Pharaoh looked at the Jewish people and said, uh-oh, something's going on. They're thinking. They're contemplating their freedom. They're looking for, they're meditating on growth, on liberation, on revelation. They're thinking too much. They have too much time on their hands. I got to do something. Take away the materials that they're giving, that I'm giving them, and make them find the materials on their own. And that will just busy them up so they have no time anymore to think. That's his plan. And Rabbi Luzzatto says that Pharaoh in this story, of course it's the Pharaoh in this story, but on another level, on a deeper level, that Pharaoh represents mine and your Yetzer Hara, that negative part of ourselves that's always trying to get us to fail, that's always trying to knock us down. And you know, one of the greatest tricks, one of the greatest ploys, one of the greatest weapons in the arsenal of the Yetzer Hara is make us so busy that we have no time to think and contemplate about our lives. If you ever have time to stop, think, and be quiet down all the noise, and ask yourself some questions. What am I here for? What's my purpose? What's my goal? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to accomplish? Who do I want to be? What legacy do I want to leave? Big things happen. You get clarity. You can understand what your potential is. You can understand what's unique about you and what you have to contribute. The problem is we're so busy all the time. Busy with what? Usually things that are not important. Checking my email, scrolling through Facebook, looking at my WhatsApp, whatever it is. But that's the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara keeps us so busy and so involved in things that are not important to distract us from focusing on our lives and our growth and who we can be and what we can achieve in this world and the legacy that we can leave. I went to a funeral this week. I was so moved. I told my friend, it was his grandfather, I said that funeral literally changed my life because I saw what a person can be, what type of father a person can be, what type of grandfather a person can be. And I said, what am I doing with my life? I got to achieve, I got to be better. And that's what happens when we think, when we slow things down, when we quiet things down, and we take away all the busyness and all the noise and all the distractions that take us away from all of that. So that's what Shabbat is all about. I want to bless everybody. Have a quiet Shabbat. Put your phone away. Turn your computer off. Just think. Spend some time with your family and spend some time alone and think about your life. Who do I want to be? What do I want to achieve in this world? What's my legacy? Why am I here? How can I become a better person? How can I draw closer to Hashem? And don't let the Pharaoh, the Yetzer Hara, rob us of our potential and who we can be. Wishing everybody a beautiful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom from Yerushalayim.